Today's video, custom headliner on a C4 Corvette Targa top. Hello, welcome to ET Garage. I'm Eugene Tordo, and today's video is, like I said, we're going to do a custom headliner on a C4 Corvette Targa top. If you've seen my last video, I went ahead and took my transparent acrylic top, which has seen its better days, and vinyl wrapped it with some cheap eBay vinyl wrap, carbon fiber look vinyl wrap. And in this video, I'm going to add a headliner. Now, really don't need to add a headliner. It's more about looks, and it's also going to give me a little bit of heat. The way I'm going to do it's going to give me a little bit of heat protection from the sun. Problem with the transparent one is problem with the transparent one is in the summertime it basically cooks you. Yeah, it's a sunny day out, you're gonna fry like an egg. It doesn't matter how good your air conditioning is, you're just gonna fry. Now that I have this black carbon fiber on there, that's gonna soak up a lot of heat though, and it's gonna transfer through to the interior. And I want maximum heat protection in the summertime. And by adding a headliner, it'll give it a little bit more, just a little bit of noise reduction too, hopefully. But if you're not familiar with my channel, and I have two Targa tops from my 90 C4 Corvette. Originally it came with this transparent one, the acrylic one that's transparent, and it's just seen its better days. It needs to be re-lensed, and I don't want to re-lens it, spend the money to re-lens it, so I just cheap eBay vinyl wrapped it. I do like using this in the wintertime and early spring and fall. Once the temperatures start getting like down into the 60s and less, it's nice. You go out, if the car is outside on a sunny day, even a cold day in the winter, it'll be warm inside the car because of the it just lets so many UV rays through. But get back to this. One time all I had was this Targa top, this transparent one, acrylic one, and I cut out a piece of this reflective insulation material, and I used to put that in there to block the sun, and hold it in with a couple of strips in place. I'll get a little bit close up and show you that here shortly. But I could just glue that there and put it there, and that would be, just glue it in there permanently, and that would be fine. I mean, I could just glue it inside here and then maybe paint it like flat black. You know, you only need the surface, you only need the insulation. You don't need the shiny side on the inside. That one, because that really doesn't do anything. It just, I mean, like in the winter time, it would help reflect heat back down into there. And it might help reflect cold too in the summertime. But I want it there to help insulate, give a little more insulation from the heat that's going to be getting transferred from the outside to the inside. Now, if I wanted to, I could also take this material that I'm going to be using for the headliner. I ordered this off eBay. I'll leave a link down there. I ordered a whole bunch, and because you always want extra, in my opinion, especially the first time you're doing this. I am not a professional upholsterer or anything like that. You know, someone who does interiors. This is not the ideal way to do it. The ideal way to do it would be to have one of these upholsterer sewing machines. I forgot what type of sewing machine it's called, but it's a special type of sewing machine you use for doing upholstery. And that would be a better way to do this, and I'll show you that here in a minute, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. But yeah, let me get the camera moved around, and then you'll get a better look. All right, here is the Targa top, the inside. Now you can see where I got overspray on it from the when I repainted the frame. I wasn't worried about painting the inside of this because I'm no longer using this as a transparent top, and I covered the outside with the vinyl wrap. This is the piece of that reflective insulation. And the way I used to use this in the summertime is you actually have room to shove it underneath along the edges. And then I would do that, and then I would just have a couple of these thin metal strips that would slide underneath there, and it would hold it in place. And then when the cooler weather, I would just remove it. But this is going to get firmly attached. I am going to use 3M Super Strength Spray Adhesive, multi-surface. So that's what I'll be using. They also make headliner spray adhesive, and they also make a heavy-duty headliner adhesive. In my experience, you just want to get the heavy-duty stuff. You're better off. There are other brands too. I have, like over there, I have a can of Permatex spray adhesive. I could use that. But like I was saying, if I was a professional upholsterer, I would do this a little different. I would have cut this is a piece I already cut out, the material I'm going to use. I would have cut it, hopefully you guys can see this. I would have cut it a little bit longer, folded it over, and sewed it right to this reflective material. Then I would have just glued everything in to the material. I would also had to have glued this to this, but then I would have folded this over and sewed that with a sewing machine. But I don't have one of those sewing machines. I'm not going to invest in one just to do this one job. It doesn't make sense. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to actually cut this back just a little bit more, about 1/4 inch, and then this is going to go over, and then I'm going to glue this to this surface, and then I'm going to glue this to that surface. And the reason I am cutting this back, and hopefully you guys can see this, the reason I am cutting this back a little bit more is so this can go under it, and then it's going to go tucked underneath that edge, because there is space there to tuck it underneath. Now I could just glue it like that so they're even, and I probably wouldn't have enough. It'd probably make it just a little bit too thick to tuck underneath, and that's the reason I want to do that. But that's the plan. One thing about this material off of eBay, you can see all these creases in it, and that's because instead of shipping it in a roll, the better way to ship this stuff would be to roll it up and ship it in like a tube. But they don't. They fold it all up and you get all these creases. Now I could probably iron these out. I'm just going to let them work out on their own. I mean, it is possible I could iron them out or something. I don't know. Anyone has a lot of experience with upholstery, let me know. This is vinyl. This is false leather. And I'm just going to glue it to it and maybe see if I can iron it out or something. I don't know, but we'll see. Now, another option I have, of course, is to just glue this right to the top, too, without the insulation. That would make it easier. If you ever seen the factory headliners for the Targa tops, they do sell them. So you could buy the factory headliner and glue that in. I'm not sure how that's attached. I never worked with the factory headliner, but I believe it just gets glued in too. And you could just glue that in, or you can just get like a piece of felt, glue that in, or you, like I said, you could, like, I have overspray on this now, but I could have just left it shiny, polished it up, and that would have been fine also. That being said, custom headliner or not, all the car shows I go to and stuff, no one ever looks inside my car and up at the headliner. So the only one who knows that this custom headliner is there, unless I point it out, is me. So something to also keep in mind if you do something like that. You know, it's more of a personal satisfaction thing. It is nice having something like this. It'd be nice if it wasn't creased. But I think what I'm going to do is glue it in and just let it work its wrinkles out on its own. I was thinking of trying to iron it out. I think if you iron a piece of vinyl material like this, you got to be careful, very careful not to overheat it. But anyway, I'm going to get to work on this. I'm going to spray this adhesive. When you use one of these contact adhesives, you want to spray both surfaces. So something to keep in mind. So let me trim this back a little bit, and then I'll spray it, adhesive it, and then get to work on this. You can see, I don't know if you can see it here, I have these little notch cut out, and that's because when I shove it under here, you need that notch to clear right there. There's like a button there that holds the that's in the way. I believe that's part of the attached to this clear acrylic or something like that to hold it in place. I'm not really sure. I'll leave a link to the playlist for my other Targa top. That one I had to, that's the fiberglass one, and that one I had to reattach, and I also did a vinyl wrap on that, and that also has a custom headliner. I never did the video on a custom headliner. Where that one I used this material, which is a little thicker and whatnot. But anyway, let's get to work. Alright, this is all glued down and trimmed out to where I want it, more or less. It doesn't have to be perfect. Whenever you use any type of this adhesive spray, the instructions pretty much all the same. Give it a good shaking and follow directions, but basically it says spray both surfaces and then let it set up before you attach the pieces. In other words, just don't spray it and slap it down. You want the glue to dry until it gets tacky, then put it down. Once you put it down, it's pretty much down. So you got to be careful. I think I can rip it up. This material here will rip up, come back up, but it's going to make a mess. Another thing I did was, because I don't want to get spray on this surface here on the frame, I used a piece of cardboard to block it, because I wanted to get the spray close to the edges. Something to consider. Now I can go ahead and do this material, and when I put it down, I'm going to try and tuck it underneath this lip. There's actually room here to get it to tuck underneath. So I do need to cut this a little bit better and all that stuff. I think I will try fitting it a lip first, a little bit more, and get that done, and then once I get it fitted and it seems like it's working out, then I'll go ahead and glue it. So let me get doing that. Alright, I'm going to get a better close-up what I'm going to do here. And what I'm going to do is, once I get it glued, I'm going to have a little overlap. And then I'm going to tuck it right under there, like that, along the edge. So it's all nice tucked in. Hopefully you guys can see that. Work my way all the way around. So hopefully you guys can see how that's going to look. And, probably have to do a little bit more cutting and whatnot. But, fitting and trial fitting and whatnot. But it's part of the job, I guess. It's not going to be perfect. Like I said, I'm not a professional upholsterer. But I figure I'm better off doing that. Fitting it before I glue it. And I'll probably have to do a little more trimming. I definitely got to trim that corner there. Alright, it doesn't look too bad, but I did goof up. I trimmed just a little bit too much along here, and it didn't tuck under. Same up there. So now I have to decide, peel this off, cut another piece, and do it over, which is probably what I'm going to do. That's the reason I order extra material. So I think hopefully this will tear up pretty good. And without tearing this. Yep. Okay, ain't too bad. I got to be careful not to pull this insulation off. And go to round 2, I guess. So yeah, I'll go ahead, use this as a template, cut another piece, and then I'll go ahead and start gluing that back in again. And hopefully I don't mess up. I think this time what I'm going to do, I think I should have started right along this back edge and worked that way. And maybe even like fold it over like this. And start and then work my way that way. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I'll cut another piece and give it another try. All right, as far as I'm concerned, it's done. I do have these wrinkles. I'm hoping they work out over time. I'm glad I took the time to do the second piece. It tucked in a lot better. It does have these wrinkles. Like I said, I could probably put an iron. I could have probably tried and iron them out, or maybe hit them with the heat gun or something. I don't know. Hopefully it'll just work out over time, especially when this is out in the sun mounted on the car. One thing I think I would have done different before I put the spray down, I would have masked this all off with masking tape. Yeah, if I ever do this again, or if you ever do it, do yourself a favor and just mask that off with masking tape. And then you don't have to worry, mask everything off, and you don't have to worry about getting overspray from the adhesive spray. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done. Now, I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning of this video, but I did mention it in the other video. The reason I'm covering this transparent top and going to use this instead of my other fiberglass top is this is lighter. And this makes it a little bit easier. I have no problem taking the fiberglass top off. And but this is lighter. And in fact, I'm going to go get that fiberglass top off, weigh it, and compare the weights. So let me go ahead and do that. Compare the weights, and then this will be ready to go on the car. I'll probably let it sit here for the rest of the day and let this adhesive set up before I put it back on the car. All right, this is, I don't know, about 4 or 5 days later, and I already had this installed in the car and driving around, and I was at a restaurant, and the car is parked out in the sun, and it came off. So this spray adhesive, I've had this problem before in the past, didn't work, and I'm going to go back to good old liquid Neils. Now the spray adhesive worked good between the fabric and the reflective insulation, but the reflective insulation didn't stay stuck to here. I think what's happening is it's getting hot, and the way to remove this glue is to heat it. So it's getting hot and the glue is releasing. So I'm going to go back to good old liquid Neils. I've used that in the past with success on my other one, and I should have just went ahead and used it this time too. But I'm going to use liquid Neils. I could use regular liquid Neils. I decided to try their Fuse It Max, the strongest from start to finish. 5 times stronger, initial grab and hold. Hybrid technology, bonds almost everything. Bonds in any weather, 0 to 140 degrees. Bonds to wood, metal, glass, plastic, subfloor ceramic, marble, mirrors, foam board, landscape, block, granite, rubber, and more. For interior, exterior use. Whole person adhesive. So pick this up at Home Depot. I'm going to go ahead and use that. And now it's done. Yeah, I went ahead and put the liquid Neils on, just spread it out zigzag style and an X and along the edges where it needs to be adhered, and laid it down and retucked everything in just like I did before. Press down on it real good. Still have some wrinkles in it. I ain't too worried about it. Those I think will work out on time. If not, it's no big deal. Nobody ever really sees it except me. I like having it. I like the way it looks. Unless I mention it to somebody, they never know it's in there, because nobody ever really looks in the car and looks up at your headliner. But this top here, this is my other top, the solid fiberglass top. I had the same problem. This is a little different. I use a different material, and it's attached to a thick cardboard, and then the cardboard is glued to the Targa top. I had the same thing happen with that spray adhesive. I used the extra strength headliner spray, and I was pulling into a car show, and the headliner fell off on top of my head. Then I reattached it using just plain old liquid Neils, and it's been on there for years, no problem. Also, weight difference between the acrylic one and the fiberglass one is the fiberglass one is 10 pounds heavier. Using my highly inaccurate bathroom scale, came in around 32 pounds, and this came in at about 22 pounds, the acrylic one. you want to know the weight difference. As far as I'm concerned, this project is done. If I have any problems in the future, like check back in a couple of weeks if you want to see if I had any problems with this staying attached. I'll put it down in the description box if I do, or you can just ask. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, this is done. You can go back on the car, and I'll have to get it back out in the sun and let it soak out there and get real nice hot on a hot day and see how that holds up. But, yeah, like I said, it's done. Hope this video was helpful. Maybe a little drawn out and boring, I know, but it's just the way it goes. Reattaching this with the liquid nails, because I've done it twice already, it went really quick. I literally did it in like 10 minutes. So if I wasn't filming and everything, this whole project probably would have took me maybe 2 hours at the most. But, it's done. Like I said, I hope it was helpful, and everybody have a great day, and God bless.